Okay, folks, we're live. At some point, I turned the fireplace or lit a fire in the fireplace. So Larry is coming. His oxygen level is extremely low. So, folks, let's just not take any questions today. I'm really worried about him. I don't know what to do. I was supposed to call him to help him make sure he was up for an important call he was getting, and he was supposed to start back to work today. And I called and I called and I called, and there was no answer. And I wasn't sure what to do. I need him to tell me what to do when that happens, because I had no way of knowing if his wife was home. I know I need to ask from now on that if I do talk to him and make an arrangement to make sure he's ready for a phone call, that I need to know if he's going to be alone or not. It wasn't good, but he is still with us, and that is good. And I've sent him the link. He will be on as soon as he can. I'm turning the volume down on my cell phone here. Okay. This whole thing, I'm going to give my 2 cents. Thank you, Pam. If anybody can send something, please do. It's really important today. Did you try the link or not? Did you try the link? Okay, why don't you try the link, and if that doesn't work, then call back. Because we can hear you a lot better if we use the link. Okay. So he just walked in the door. He's back home. I need to find my pen. This isn't the one I want, but it's the one I'll get. This whole thing with Soleimani and what happened and what Trump is doing. Thank you, Matt. What Trump is doing, and the way Iran is reacting, and what I keep hearing from both sides of the aisle, people who claim to be, alt media telling the truth. And thank you, Auntie. I'm a little shocked at some of the different things that I'm hearing that people are saying. There are people who are calling, have called me, and Larry's with us. Let's see if he can get in. Oh shoot, he's blocked. He's not in. Oh man, I hate very much for him to have to come in by the phone, because I can hardly hear him. I don't know how we're going to manage to do this today. I'm going to have to go unplug the fireplace, because if the fan kicks on, you definitely won't be able to hear him. He's trying, but nothing happening yet. Anyhow, I'm a little shocked at some of the things that, it's just buffering. Some of the things that are just being said. Accusations against Trump, claiming the things that he's involved in, and that he's, oh, hey, Larry, are you there? Larry? Hello? Hello? No sound. Connection made, but no sound. I'm so sorry, folks. I guess we're going to give up, and I'm going to call him. And it's not ringing because he's trying to get in. Okay. Soleimani was killed Friday morning. Hey, Larry, is that you?
Hello.
Yeah, okay. You're on. I forgot to say that this was Monday, June 6th, 2020. Larry's here.
You're speaking, I'm here.
Hmm.
Hello, are we there?
Yeah.
Are we on?
You're on. You're on.
All right. Hi, folks. The situation is getting weird. The stories that are being told on the internet are becoming once again problematic. And of course, the situation with the president and the trial, that is still up to some degree for grabs. You know what is fixing to transpire. I'm sure you've all heard that Logan has said if he is subpoenaed that he will testify. And of course, the Democrats are chomping at the bits, thinking that if he'll testify, he will certainly stab Trump in the back. I don't vote him, and I don't believe that to be the case. I just don't believe that to be the case. And you've got to remember also that the Democrats are 100% starting with the initial premise. And this is where it gets crazy, y'all. They're starting with the initial premise that something is wrong. You know, that he did something illegal. And that all of this stuff they're doing is going to turn it up. You know, people want to figure out what he did illegal. And the truth is, guys, he didn't do anything illegal. He didn't. Nothing illegal, and certainly nothing that meets the standards that have to be met to qualify under high crimes and misdemeanors. And that's something. All of the super, every bit of it, is over something that didn't exist. And the Democrats wish if they will do everything they can to wish it so. It won't make it happen. It just will not make it be so. I can't. He didn't do anything wrong. As far as the funding that was withheld from the Ukrainians, we don't need to keep just rehashing and rehashing anymore. But in the interest of simplifying where we are today, he released the transcript of the phone call. You can hear it for yourself. He did. He actually released the transcript of the phone call. And the only variation between the transcript of the phone call that might be a little different is where the transcription might have missed a word exactly. So it didn't exactly match what the president may have said. It didn't. But remember, he had to, on that phone call, have committed crimes and misdemeanors. Not there, guys. It's not there. said, I mean, I hadn't said it clear enough. Let me say it this way. Our nation is depending upon whether or not our president can come out of this coup attempt against him. Our nation's depending on that. You're not. You and your family's lives all depend on this coup attempt. Whether it fails, or whether it succeeds, it affects your life immediately, your family immediately. So we all should have an interest in it. We all should have an interest. And we had better learn. We had just better learn to grow out of this state that we found ourselves in today. We're a handful of sick, egotistical creeps. And we mean creeps in a position to destroy our country. And by God, they are. They are where they can do it. And they know they can do it. And then, thanks to what they've done to President Trump, now we're entering into the phase of this impeachment. It's really dangerous. Really, really dangerous. They have actually interceded in the president's ability to conduct foreign and international relations. Yeah. They certainly have. And now, we have a situation in Iraq. It's not a surprise situation. I had said it. I'm not claiming to be some kind of smart person. I'm just saying that I had said it on the air, so it's provable that I had said it. That we went into Iraq, Afghanistan, that whenever we decided to leave, which we would decide to leave at some point, we would leave at some point. But when we left, everything would go back to exactly what it was before we got there, with the only difference being how many American lives and how much American treasure have been wasted. Trying to say that. That's where we are. Now it should be there for all of y'all to see. The Iraqis, they had a government meeting.
The Iraqis what?
The Iraqi government had a meeting over the weekend and determined that they wanted us out. They want us out of Iraq. Thank you, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Schumer. Thank you to all y'all for that. Thank you. You see, you say, well, how could they have anything to do with it? Well, we now know that they, Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, the whole crew, through proxies for themselves or stand-ins for themselves, obviously went over to Iraq and Afghanistan and gathered up leaders that were friendly to their causes and told them not to worry about Trump, that he was on his way out. Not to do anything with Trump because he was on his way out. He couldn't live up to any promises or commitment he makes. So in that atmosphere, even the moderate Iraqi leaders are going to say, well, get out. Just get out. You'll notice they have not spent 1 minute in these weekend want dead in these meetings for what we gave up in our sons and daughters' lives so that they could get the oil wells up and running on behalf of the Iraqi people, not the American people, the Iraqi people. I just say thank you for that. Then get out. They're saying get out. And it is my further hope. It is my hope. President Trump stands firm as he had said he would do. And I can simply go by everything else that he has said he would do, that he has either done or has tried or continues to try. If they want us out, he's going to pull us out. And then when he pulls us out, Iraq's going to fall right back in to the only kind of leadership that will run that country, Iraq. And that's a tyrannical dictatorship. It's the only kind of government that can work there. The only kind. I don't know yet who that tyrannical dictator is going to be yet. But I can tell you the clan he will represent. He will be a Shia. He will represent the Shiite form of Islam. Now, Larry, how can you know that, right? That's pretty deep stuff, right? Mary Ellen, it's pretty deep, isn't it?
Well, that's because the southern part of Iraq is Shia, and it's the Kurds who are Sunni and Christian. And they hate the Kurds.
No.
Okay.
So it breaks down sort of like this. If you need to break it down bigger, the southern part to be Shia. The central part is Sunni. And the northern part of Iraq is Kurdish. Got it?
Yep.
Shia, Sunni, Kurdish. Now, the evil dictator Saddam Hussein, does anybody know what he was? Was he a Sunni, Kurd, or Shia? Anybody know?
I don't know, but I would guess Shia.
You would guess wrong.
Of course.
That was the humor behind Saddam Hussein. You see, the Shia in Iraq outnumber the Sunnis considerably. Considerably. But Saddam Hussein was a Sunni. And so the Shias in that country feel that they have had years and years of torment, unfair treatment by this evil dictator Saddam Hussein. And was a Sunni. Of course, he specialized in oppressing the Shiites, and he specialized a lot at torturing the Kurds. He was a Sunni. But the next leader, the tyrannical dictator, my opinion, so everybody put it down as my opinion, but I think you'll find I've got reason to be kind of learned in this opinion. The next evil dictator that will end up running Iraq, if we leave, will be a Shiite. Now, Mariana, do you know how I know that?
No.
Remember, I'm sitting in Conway, Arkansas. You know, I'm not a part of the brain trust in Washington or in Baghdad or anywhere else, right?
No, but you've worked in Afghanistan and you've been in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm. But you know, that doesn't even really apply in this bit of prestidigitation, you know, the magic show. You see, what Iran has wanted for years and years, is they believe Iraq is a rulers in the Middle East, they want to own them. They want to profit from them. And in times like we're going through now, they are backing all of the internal strife going on in Iraq. They're backing it. The shoes are. That's all it is. So if we pull out, it only makes sense to me. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. It only makes sense to me that since the Ayatollah is throwing his weight around in Iraq, handling all of these uprisings, being behind them, being behind all of these terrorist attacks within Iraq, and there's a bunch of them. Now, I will say it's not quite as bad in Iraq yet as it is in Chicago, but they're trying. There will be a Shiite that takes over leadership of Iraq as we leave, and they will persecute to the extreme the Sunnis and the Kurds, force them into submission. Then the Ayatollah will have captured as well money from the oil.
We lost you. We lost your sound, Larry.
Am I there now?
It does. It's real soft. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, boom, you were quiet.
Well, just running out of air.
Oh, there you're back.
Okay, good. He will take over leadership, and he will take over the money. The money. And the money is not in the Baghdad currency, or the Iraqi currency. That's not what he's talking about. He takes over the second, third largest oil reserves in the Middle East. They will be at his disposal. He will have the money, the revenues from it, and will be gone.
That'll make them way more powerful than they are right now.
Yes. And you see, why is that significant? That's significant because, in the world of technologies, in the world of trying to become a major nuclear power so that they can compete Iraq, Iran can compete globally with Russia, China, the U.S. They want nukes. They want nukes, and don't forget, they will fire them off. They don't want Israel to exist. They don't want it to even exist. They hate it so bad they don't even want it to have ever existed. They intend to fully destroy Israel, and to wipe the slate, the history of Israel, of the Jews ever existing, period. They want to wipe it out. But they need nukes to do it. And there's two ways you can get that technology. You can take the time and develop it. You're a scientist, and things you can do to create your nuclear arsenal. Or you know what you can do? Instead of inventing it yourself or developing it yourself, you know what you can do, Mariana?
You can buy it from China and Russia.
There you go, you can buy it.
Or rogue people here.
You can flat buy. And that's their game plan. That's their game plan.
So if they plan to nuke the U.S., where do the likes of Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, Mueller, and those cast of very negative characters, where do they go?
Well, they all believe that if this all goes down the way they plan it, my mind's going blank, the progressive plan, the overall plan. This is a push to take the world, to be the controller of the world. So Pelosi and all of these people in Washington Washington, both parties, by the way, they feel like they need to be with the winning team. And when America goes down, you see, they will be a part of this elite group. The power. They will be in power. Oh, they won't be number one. They will be big cheese, but they will be in power.
Are they expecting that they're going to be somewhere else other than where nukes fall here so that they get...
No, they're going to be in the collective. They're going to be part of the collective. And guess what? They're not going to nuke us. Nuking America is blasé. Don't nobody want to do that anymore. Nobody.
Well, we've got the food that they want, right?
They want to own America. They want to get their turn in the trough of America. They want their turn. And we've got the exact perfect bunch of sleazeball characters in our government, both parties, that facilitate such an overall takeover. If we really do. We've got the most unscrupulous, the most treasonous, the least American people in leadership of this country that would sell it down in a minute, just so long as when the fat lady sings, they get their place as a part of the leadership collective. They'll be a part of the collective, so they think. And maybe they will. Maybe they will. It all boils down to they don't care about us. It's all about them. Look at the damage they have done. Now, if you don't believe me, that the Ayatollah, or one of his puppets, will take over the leadership of Iraq, or at least they're planning to take over the leadership of Iraq once we're gone, right? Who did we just kill in Iraq?
Soleimani, their top general. Soleimani.
But we didn't kill him in Iran.
No, we killed him in Iraq.
We killed him in Iraq.
Oh, Larry, you won't believe what I heard today, just half an hour before the show started. Somebody that has Jewish roots was claiming that he was negotiating a peace deal between Iran and Saudi Arabia and was transitioning through Iraq to get this deal settled. And I'm going, but what about his being there during the attack on the embassy, U.S. embassy? I mean, how could people come up with this kind of stuff?
In their conspiratorial minds, somehow, some way, they come up with some fancy plot that they contrive, and they work to make it so. That's how they do it.
They have
As I've stated before, they take just enough of the connection to real events to make it sound like it's all connected. It's not. It's not. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. Deep. Where we once were just in trouble. then, does that make sense, right?
So,
Or could the leadership in Iraq, knowing that they got nothing to compete with Iran, then if America pulls out, it's just open season for Iran to not be able to march right in.
well, you've got a bunch of Shiites in the government. That'd be part of it. But is this just saber rattling for the sake of the Middle Eastern Muslims to make it sound like they're pushing us out, knowing full well that we're not going to go quietly? I mean, is this just game playing and saber rattling?
No, it's going well beyond that now. Well beyond that now. Well beyond saber rattling. You see, because when Pelosi and all that bunch went to the Middle East, telling everybody that Trump's worthless and he's not going to be effective, he's not going to be president, so you can't believe any deals that he would make with you. There's nothing, no agreements you could work with him that are going to matter because he's gone. Right? You got Iraq's leadership thinking, oh my God, what are we going to do? Do you know what they do in that situation? Oh my God, what are we going to do? What they got to do in their minds is they got to figure out which one's going to be the winner and then get in the camp of the winner.
Okay, I'm going to go turn the fan off. My fan from my furnace just came on.
So, yeah, Adler, Schumer, Pelosi, and all of these AOCs and whatever the other groups in that group are, they have literally destroyed everything President Trump had worked so hard to achieve in the Middle East, which was us getting out of the Middle East. He wants us out. He doesn't want us in any of these Middle Eastern wars anymore. He wants us out. It's got to be done smart. He wants us out, but he wants to leave Iraq being Iraq. He wants to leave Iraq being having a reasonable chance of surviving. That's gone now, or very close to being gone now, thanks to Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, having them telling all the Middle Eastern leaders that if you're betting on Trump, you're in trouble. Because once again, what do the Middle Eastern leaders all see? Where do they get their news about America? About President Trump, where do they get it?
Lying CNN.
CNN. Yep. CNN. So the only person they hear is corroborated by CNN. Sorry, I had to use this emergency inhaler. Breathe.
Do you need to stop today?
No. I need to go home.
Okay, Adam, ask your question. Go ahead and type it in.
And I'll ask questions anytime along now. Any question you got?
And Adam, my name's Mary Ellen, by the way.
You know what I wish our people would do on this program? It's what I've asked over and over and over and over and over again. Just don't be so quick to buy into these conspiracy things you see on the internet, please. Just don't. Please don't. You and I, all of you, with me, believe it or not, we're the last line of defense. We truly are. You don't believe it, or maybe you don't believe it. You still think we're nothing. We're nobody, so we can't do anything. We still can. We still can. I don't need to tell you now. It's going to be harder, thanks to what they did in the Middle East. Pelosi and Schiff and Nadler and the guys. It'll be much harder now. What you got?
will other countries join Iran to increase the bounty on Trump's head?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Somebody made reference, or you did, or some story you read about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is Sunni. A big part of Saudi Arabia's population is Wahhabi Sunni, and they are the most vicious fighters or clan in the Sunni faith. Saudi Arabia hangs on by a thread. You see, every day in Saudi Arabia, the royal family has, used to it was 7, now maybe it's 11 jets on the tarmac, ready to go, packed up with wealth and stuff to get the royal family the hell out of Dodge. You know, if you're in Saudi Arabia, around Riyadh and around the area there, the royal family is powerful, all powerful. But now you go outside of that into the hinterlands in Saudi Arabia, and you've got the Sunni population, and then the Wahhabi population, and they hate the royal family. And they would destroy them in a second. They would overrun the royal family in an absolute second, were it not for one thing. Our military base there. Our military's presence in Saudi Arabia is the only thing that keeps the Wahhabi Sunnis from overthrowing the royal family. The only thing. So now you've got even the royal family from Saudi Arabia. Male person just came in. So you got the royal family in Saudi Arabia holding on by a thread. And they too, along with Jordan, another one of our strongest allies in the region, they're sitting there wondering if what Pelosi and Schiff and all of them are doing is true. Is it true that Trump cannot protect them? That any agreements or relationships they make can't be trusted?
And you said that Saudi Arabia is asking that question. Did you say there was another country asking that there?
Jordan.
Jordan, right.
Jordan. Yes, ma'am. It's all very unstable right now, and it's all incredibly unstable because of this group that I would like to call anarchists in America. This group of tyrants, tyrants.
Okay, a couple people are asking, why can't we do something like a nationwide class action lawsuit against them?
You can't. You can't.
I mean, we all forget that the Congress has, they set the rules, and so they have set exemptions for themselves against so much that the rest of us would have to deal with. And the way to deal with them is to vote them out. But between all the election and voter fraud in their districts and not enough conservatives who recognize who they are to overwhelm the polls, they keep getting voted in.
You said voter fraud. It's actually election fraud. The town was with election fraud.
Well, it's, yeah, I meant both, Larry. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Nancy.
Trouble.
Yeah, especially Nancy Pelosi's district, where you've got all these homeless that are paid to vote.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, you've got the homeless, then you've got the illegals that they refuse to call them illegals. See, because if they're not illegal, then guess what? They have the right to vote. And like that. It will not be long until they will have a voting bloc that cannot be beaten. We got one more election, guys. One more. One more. 2020. This year. It is on us now.
Yeah, we're already in 2020. The primaries start soon. And boy, if we don't have anybody to run against them, we're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have little hope at this point. That's just me. I have little hope that we're going to get a lot of people to run in this election. We're going to be running again like we did last time out of town. And, so I just say I have trouble believing that we're going to have. Anyway, we got a job to do, folks. All this is just an exercise in telling you we've got a job to do. That they have spread this cancer everywhere. And it is working everywhere. And if you doubt, you just need to look around. Look around. Now, has anybody got any questions about what I talked about? Because I've talked about a lot, and I'm sure to a lot of you didn't make a lot of sense.
MJ, I'm sorry about the noise. I've got a fireplace that I've got a screen in front of it, and so you're hearing the wood's cracking, and Larry's doing something at home too. So sorry about the background noise.
Oh, Rosie back. She is going crazy. I'm sorry. Anybody got any questions? Please. Now's the time to get them answered.
I don't know what Adam said. Adam disappeared from the chat, so I don't know what happened. And I don't see any other questions right now, Larry, so.
Okay. Let me ask you all this. Does any of this make sense to any of you? Do y'all get it? Do you get what I'm trying to tell you?
It takes.
I'm still frustrated, just overly frustrated at the media and the Democrats, which, of course we expected, so it's not shocking, I guess. It is infuriating. You see, this general that President Trump had killed, this general was on the hit list during the Obama administration. He's been there a long time. He's been there, and any time the occasion arose where he could be captured or killed with minimal collateral damage, it's been there the whole time. Tom does it. And all of a sudden, President Trump, he leads the Democrats, CNN, and all of them. All of a sudden, it looks like he has violated the Constitution, and by doing the deed he did, that Democrats are calling that an unauthorized act of war against the sovereign nations. You ought to at least understand that. They are saying President Trump violated the Constitution by not going to Congress, getting permission to, start a war with a sovereign nation. The problem is, the act that he did, the thing that he did, was not an act of war. it was not an act of war. It was eliminating a person that, folks, was on the list of terrorists and is authorized when the opportunity arises to kill. And they did.
Adam has fun.
It just goes back to this. There is nothing President Trump can do, nothing that they will not tear down and use it on him to try to destroy him. Nothing. He can't win. So we have to do it, you see. We have to do it. We're the ones that must. Now, Adam, what?
The answer to your question, Brett, is yes. Adam asked, are the Jews running America?
No.
No, it's a progressive council.
Now, are there, let's look at this another way, folks. Are there Jews in this country that are evil? Yes. Yes. Are there Jews in this country that want money, want all the money in the world? They want it. They want the power of having all the money in the world. Yes, there are. But that newsflash. There are Baptists that want the same thing. There are Christians that want the same thing. That's not unique to Jews. There are bad Jews, there are good Jews. And yes, when you start going to Goldman Sachs, yes, Goldman Sachs, believe it or not, guys, is pretty well predominantly controlled by fat cat Jews. It is. That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what, it's not saying that all Jews are that way. I'm not saying that at all. But it is saying that there are some, yes ma'am, there are some bad ones. There are bad ones. And we have bad ones in our ranks as well. Bad ones. Everything in Jewish, like Hitler wanted it to be, everything's not that way.
Okay,
once again, what they're able to do is divide and conquer, you see. Fragments. Get us all fighting against each other. They win when they do that. Divide and conquer, did you ever hear that? Divide and conquer. Pretty big tactics, been around for a bazillion years. And it is used all the time today. You see it with Antifa. You see it with them trying to get the blacks against the whites. You see it with them trying to get the Mexicans against the Mexicans, against the Americans. I mean, you see it every day. They're trying to get these different fragments of society and get them all hoovered up. And then we're easily destroyed. Easily destroyed. So,
did you know that the Democrats are trying to change the bill? Hang on, let me scroll back up. To stop Trump. It says Trump was authorized by a lawful bill to stop terrorists, and the Democrats are trying to change that bill. Have you heard that?
I have not.
Yeah, I heard that they passed something. The House passed something today, I think, to try and stop him from.
And I don't think maybe the House passed it. I would not be surprised, but oftentimes, Ellen and all of you get confused. A member of the House drafts legislation.
Yeah.
Not the case at all.
Chris said Schumer wants to change the War Powers Act.
Yeah.
So do you think Trump will be able to get our troops out of the Middle East?
Yes. It'll be harder now. It'll be a lot harder now.
Why?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, the whole point of our troops being there was to make the Middle East safe. If we pull out now, if he pulls out now under this cloud that we're under, to make the Middle East less safe. Let's say nobody in the Middle East is going to trust us anymore. We back out. Nobody. And remember, we do have good countries that are allies of ours, and they help us tremendously in many things all over the world. And I'm speaking of Saudi Arabia. Yeah, they're in trouble, but Saudi Arabia at times is a friend of ours, at times they're an enemy. Jordan, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, they're countries that we need over there. They're falling apart because they don't believe in what they see on CNN and what our Speaker of the House and her group come and tell them. They don't believe that they can count on President Trump anymore. So if they can't count on President Trump, then survival is the name of the game, and then they just got to latch on to whichever side they think will better protect them. You know, she's just giving the Middle East to Iran. She's giving it to them. It's evil. It's sinister. It's dangerous for us. Look, you don't know how it's dangerous to us, right? Because, I mean, everybody's going, well, we need to get our troops out. Yes, we need to get our troops out. But we don't need to get our troops out and leave a thorough training ground for terrorists that will come across the pond and kill us. You got it? We don't need to do that. But what Pelosi and them are causing is it causing us to have to leave. We're causing the countries there to have to work with Iran, and Iran is the biggest state sponsor of terrorism in the world. And we're funding them. We give them that oil reserve, those oil reserves, and hey, terrorism will flourish. And as I told you about technology, you can either invent it or you can buy it. Well, Iran's on a fast track to be able to buy anything they want. How would you like to be Israel? How would you like to be Israel, knowing that America had to back out of an agreement with Iraq, and that leaves them totally exposed. Israel exposed when we pull out of Iraq. Now Israel's exposed. Then Saudi Arabia, well, they're not going to count on us anymore. So they're going to sign their allegiance to Russia or China. And you've got a fertile training ground in the Middle East that we can't touch. Because if they do kick us out, yes, now we cannot do things in their country because it would be governed by the War Powers Act.
You say what's governed by the War Powers Act?
If we are forced to leave Iraq, if the in situ government of Iraq, as it's called in political terms, in situ government, meaning the standing government, if the legitimate standing government in Iraq sovereign nation, and we can't go back in and do just anything we want. We can't do that. We'd be violating the sovereign nation unless they ask us to come in. Scary. Scary.
Yeah. Pam said,
Now, I'm not, let me get two things out of the way, Mary Ellen.
sure.
I am not afraid of Iran putting any kind of 800 million or bazillion bounty on President Trump's head. I'm not worried about that. Now, maybe I should be more than that, but I'm not. He has Secret Service, but more than that, he's got triple canopy. It's not as easy to hit the president as one would think. And by the I told him making this threat that he did, he has caused security to ramp up big time. I'm not worried about that. No. I am worried about attacks here in this country by sleeper cells that have been here all along being activated and going around and killing Americans all over the country and soft targets. The other thing I don't worry about, Mary Ellen told me that there is concern that Iran might use EMP, electromagnetic pulse. They might take out our power grids. They might shut this country down, right? Is that what you were saying, Mary Ellen?
Yes, sir.
Mary Ellen?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. No, I didn't really. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I heard somebody say.
Let me put that one down, folks. Iran has limited nuclear weapons at this point. No, they didn't make them. They bought them. You got it? They didn't make them. They bought them. And they've only got a few relatively. But to pull off an EMP, you have to shoot off. Typically, the way it's done is by shooting off a nuke in the atmosphere over an area that you want to destroy. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
You're all with me, right? You
understand
that?
Yeah.
Somebody answer me, man. We do understand that, right? You got to look in the atmosphere and set off a nuke. When it pops off, down below it, I'm just giving you a real simple example. But down below it, you could knock out the power grids, etc. The problem Iran has, they ain't got any way to get it here. They don't have ballistic missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles that can get something from there to over here above someplace in America that they want to knock everything out at. Same holds true with North Korea. North Korea, you can use it in a second if you wanted to. He doesn't have a delivery system. So you don't necessarily need to worry about that much is what I'm trying to say. Not yet. We're not there yet. But as the Middle East dissolves and breaks down thanks to Schiff, Pelosi, CNN, and the gang, as it starts to break down, as they start kicking us out of Iraq, we go. They get control of the oil reserves. Now they've got the money to buy intercontinental ballistic missiles sufficient enough to deliver it here. That worries me. Then, not now. So there. Any questions? questions from anybody before we go? I've tied up the whole program.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, can't Kerry and John Kerry's been over in Iran saying the same thing as Pelosi. Can't they be held to the Logan Act?
Most of the time, Mary Ellen, people like Kerry, people like Pelosi, her little munchkins that she would send as ambassadors to carry out her dirty little messages that she's sending. Most of the time, these people are well versed in Logan and other prevented laws to where they're able to skirt around them. They are able to skirt around them. And then you've got the other problem. Let's say they can't skirt around the Logan Act, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're doing this, and they cannot get around the Logan Act. They didn't do it. They just violated the law, period. Right?
Yeah.
What's our saying?
Who are you going to call? How are you going to prosecute them with a rigged court system?
Remember what our saying was, who are you going to call? Who are you going to call to do anything about it? Huh? We're better today than we have been. We can call Barr. But then Barr's got a problem. Before can he find a court?
Yeah. So that's the trouble.
Nikita Khrushchev, I think it was 1956 or whenever it was, leaving his shoe on his desk at the UN and saying that they will destroy America without firing a shot, that we will be destroyed from within. That was probably the prophecies outside of the Bible, and one of the probably an insignificant prophecy. It's going to end up being true. It may not be Russia. They may have been wrong thinking Russia was going to be the one, or the Soviet Union was going to be the one that ends up with America. And it doesn't matter who ends up with us. Not to me anyway, because we're lost. We lose. I don't lose to anybody. I don't lose to China. I don't lose to Russia. I don't lose to Islam. I don't lose to Mexicans. I don't lose to lose our country to anybody. You hear me? Nobody. Any other questions? We're dealing with some pretty deep stuff today. I hope y'all appreciate it. Do you? Somebody send me a message. Do you appreciate what we're talking about today? It seems awfully doom and gloom. I know that. I know it sounds awfully doom and gloom. I don't think we learn anything from hiding from the truth either.
True. Two questions. How could Soleimani be on Obama's hit list if he was a friend of Obama's?
How could who?
Soleimani, the guy the
general.
Yeah, the general.
Well, Obama probably didn't put him on the terrorist list. National security teams did, or the national security people did. And I don't know that he was such a bosom buddy of Obama. I just know Obama had a tendency to be bosom buddies with any lawyer that he could get his hands on.
Yeah. And then one other question was about that's a weird noise. Somebody was asking about the U.S. dollar around the world. What's going to happen when it goes down? But we still have the strongest currency, so.
Yeah. The U.S. dollar may take hits periodically, and it does. But it is still the most stable currency in the world for the time being.
Yeah. Chris asked if we use radiation detectors for nuke recognition at our ports.
Mm-hmm. We do.
Okay, good. All right, that's the last question that I am aware of.
Is there any others out there? I mean, is there anybody listening today? Do we have any listeners?
Anybody have what?
Did we have any listeners today?
Oh, we've got 100. We have 128 right now, Larry.
So instead of 140, we got 8.
No, 128.
Oh, 128. Thank you. I'm sorry. Come on, folks. Tell me what you think about what we talked about today. I want to know. I really do. This is one of the things I need to hear what you think.
Pam doesn't believe Americans are buying what the Democrats are pushing. Pam said that the farmers are.
Let me answer you, Pam. Let me answer you this way. Do me a favor, Pam, and do what I force myself to do, please. I want you to watch in the morning MSNBC and CNN, just switch back and forth from them, and at least do nothing but watch them until noon tomorrow. Please do that. Now, when you watch MSNBC and CNN tomorrow, from when you get up until noon, you're not going to like what you hear and how it's presented. It is not. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But remember this. Half of this nation, virtually half town of this nation, that's all they hear. What you're going to hear for a half a day that's going to really make you mad, not being mild. It's going to really upset you. That's what half of America hears, and that's all that they hear. That's all they hear. Now, as a point of reference, let me just give you another little bit of history. Hitler and Goebbels, they use these same techniques that are being used on Americans today. Same techniques. And Goebbels said that if you tell a lie long enough, hard enough, if you just keep telling it over and over, it eventually becomes true. If that's the kicker to that statement is, that's if they can't hear anything else but that. Eventually, it becomes real. It becomes true. Half of our nation today, Pam, and I'm putting in that group, same as it would have put Germany back in the mid-30s. They were decent people. They were all not Nazis. They were all not Gestapo. They were decent people. But they were fed the junk Hitler was putting out so much, so hard. They had no choice but to believe it because that was all they heard. That's all they heard. And then Hitler used sweeteners. Yes, he used sweeteners like the Democrats are doing. Hitler's greatest sweetener was in the mid-30s. You know what it was, folks? Anybody out there history buff enough to know? History told Germans who had just come out of losing World War I. They had suffered terribly. The world had come down on Germany after World War I and made them pay reparation for all the damage done to all the countries like France, etc. I mean, they were hard on the German people, and the German people were put into destitution in the mid-30s. German people had nothing. They had nothing, and they were being tortured literally by the rest of the world. Hitler comes along and he does a sweetener trick, right? He pulls a little sweetener trick. And that trick was, he said, you come along with him, I'm paraphrasing, but if you come along with him, he would put a new Volkswagen in every garage, in every home, a new Volkswagen. And that was a pretty big status symbol in the day. So he sweetened just like the Democrats uses today, with reparation for the blacks, free health care for everybody, paying off student loans, free college. He just used Volkswagens. By the way, everything they didn't get a Volkswagen in their home or in their garage.
Did anybody? Probably not. Only him.
Well, not really, because he took all the manufacturers that would make the Volkswagens and converted them into making military equipment. But you see, when you're lying, you can do anything you want to do, y'all. When you're lying, you can do anything you want to do. When you're lying, you can say this phone call that President Trump made to the president of Ukraine, that he released the whole transcript, and there's nothing in it. But when you're lying, you can make half of this country believe that it was a high crime and misbelieve it. And then lying is effective, guys. Don't you doubt it. Don't you doubt it. And unfortunately, the moral society to which we represent or are a part of, moral societies don't get to do that. We don't. What else you got, Miriam? Anybody telling me something? I want to know what y'all think about today's program. Did you get it? Do you understand it?
We had a couple people that said thank you, Larry. Kenneth is back on the fiat currency and said, what will happen when the fiat dollar is eliminated worldwide? So I guess I didn't ask it right.
Well, no, I know what he's talking about, Kenneth. Kenneth, as you know, Kenneth, we have operated for years and years and years with fiat currency. And that's all we got, just fiat currency. It doesn't really exist. It's a plastic. Its value is simply connected to what people believe its value to be. But when we went off the gold standard, obviously, the dollar's not backed by gold anymore. It's not a gold certificate, it's not a silver certificate. Our dollar bill is nothing. They don't represent nothing. It represents a dollar in debt. A dollar bill represents a dollar in debt, of which we pay 10 to 12% interest. They don't represent nothing. It's what we're willing to believe it represents. What it'll buy here. What else?
That's it. I appreciate your insight, Larry, says Kim.
I'm a little disappointed that I didn't help y'all more. I wanted to help you. I wanted to show y'all that this whole scam of impeachment has taken steps far beyond impeachment, with ramifications far beyond impeachment.
Diane asked.
No, we are not doomed. No, we are not doomed. As a matter of fact, I want to say again what I said right after 2016 election. God allowed us, I think he heard our prayers. He allowed us to have elected the one man, I believe, for our time. There's probably others, but he got us the man we needed for now. He's not perfect, but he's what we need now. He does not love. Importantly, he does not succumb to being worn down by the media and the constant attacks of me and his family. He keeps his head down and he does his job. God gave us a man that believes in America as I do, as you do, as all of you do. We are a great nation. We are a great nation. But we've got to reclaim our greatness. We have to reclaim our greatness. And that begins with each and every one of us. We're the last line. We're the line of defense. And we will have a much brighter future. Oh my God, such a bright future will be if President Trump wins in 2020. We'll have a future. And I believe as well that if he wins, using the Democrats' extrapolation as my method, if Democrats extrapolate that if Trump is defeated, that they will get the Senate, get control of the Senate, and keep control of the House. Because nobody's going to walk in and vote out Trump and then turn around and vote to keep a Republican senator in place or vote out a Democrat into the House. I believe the reverse is true. I don't believe people will walk in and look to keep Trump president and turn around and vote to put a Democrat in the Senate or to re-elect a Democrat that's in the Senate. Now, I don't think they will. So the play is whichever side wins November 2020, November of this year, I could say in 2020 because we are 2020, whichever side wins 2020 this year, they'll get a clean sweep. And they'll have control of the presidency, the House, and the Senate. I believe that. And I would ask y'all to believe it as well. We have hope.
Francine, we're going to retake the House if Trump wins because people are more likely to just vote a straight ticket.
Well, the political tactical blunder the Democrats have made, by the way, Pelosi has handled and Schiff and Nadler, the blunder they've made with this impeachment process is they have highlighted to all of us that should have voted in 2018, but we just didn't for whatever reason or whatever. We thought Trump was in, so everything was safe, or we thought whatever we thought. They made a mistake. They have, through this impeachment, awoken a lot of people in our base. They have. And it's going to help us. It's going to help us get people compelled to get out and vote. And thank the Lord in heaven for AOC and Khalid and that crew. Thank you, Jesus, and that crew. Because they, even though they're not doing it now, we've got proof that every member of the presidential campaign for the Democrats stood up and basically proclaimed that they were Democratic Socialists in some of the early debates. Thank you, Bernie Sanders, for staying more than the others, even he's dropping it. Thank you for making it very clear to our side that the Democrats
Okay, we've gone.
Since we can't use sweeteners, we use the next powerful thing in the campaign, which is fear. Our demographics, our age group that make up the conservative movement right now, our base, Trump's base right now, is generally older and have grown up fearing communism and socialism. The millennials have not. Young people have not. But our base grew up knowing it was bad. So we're afraid of it. And that will help us.
Yeah.
That's why we came up with the mantra, the saying, never socialism. And I'll show you as we get closer to the actual race, as we get closer, once the Democrats have picked their candidate, we will see never socialism really take on power. What else?
Larry, I'm concerned about the time. It's been almost an hour and a half, and
I don't care. Only here.
Somebody says, I don't know why I'm so worried about war with Iran. Gloria says we're not going to have World War III because the mainstream media is fear-mongering. Kim said in the last election, a lot of evangelicals didn't vote, and they're hoping they'll vote this time.
Well, let me tell you about the one who was talking about Iran saber rattling. All right, let's make one thing very clear. Very, very clear. As I know the president is or does, I believe most definitely the Ayatollah plans to make a major strike against us. There's no doubt. No doubt that man has all of his strategic strategists, all of his people trying to figure out what to do to hit us and hit us hard. I have no doubt. You shouldn't either. He knows we're a nation of soft targets. We don't protect every nuclear plant. We don't protect every football game. Somebody was talking about suitcase nukes. Mary Ellen and I were talking about suitcase nukes. The true thing about tactical nukes, there are some, and Russia let them go, sold them. The tactical nukes are not in a briefcase. They're not. They're called briefcase nukes. The calls to controls to trigger them can be carried in a briefcase. But they're tactical nukes. And tactical nukes technically are small relatively. They're like if you find a Coke machine, when you go to a hospital or someplace where they've got vending machines, look at a Coke machine. They're about the size of half of that Coke machine. I saw a movie, as a matter of fact, it scared me to death. Because I thought, you idiot. Whoever made that movie is an idiot because it gave tip to the terrorist how to do it. In this movie, there was some big football game. And they had shipped in this Coke machine or vending machine of some sort. And they put it right there with all the other vending machines. And of course, inside it was a tactical nuke. That could happen. That could happen at the playoff football game. Could. Fortunately, people in our security group, they know about it. So they'll be watching for it, I hope, very, very carefully. But I don't know that a college basketball game, they're going to be worried about when the Coke machine was brought in, because
Are you sure you want to know? Somebody thinks that I'm deep state and I'm only asking questions of my friends and that you need a new host.
No, no.
The only question I saw this person ask was after. Okay, he's asking is.
There's no more to all of it. There's no more dedicated. No more dedicated and patriot to this country than Mary Ellen York. Is not. I've seen a lot, and I've never seen anybody any more dedicated than she. I don't want to hear it. You're just wrong. You're wrong-minded. Now, maybe you're wrong-minded because some of the questions that you want to throw at me may not get asked. But I have asked Mary Ellen, along with a couple of others, to sort of police the chat room and to, kind of hold some of the questions, make sure they're connected to the subject matter we're talking about.
Look, I don't want to go on any longer. I'm a little too upset right now. I'm done.
Don't be upset, Mary Ellen. And folks, y'all need to support Mary Ellen. See, this is what those trolls do. It's what they do. They distract and they hurt people. That's what they try to do.
Yeah.
There's not a person in this audience, I assure you right now, there's not one person in this audience right now that has access to the information I do. And I don't even know who all of you are that are listening right now, but I assure you, there's no one listening to me right now that has the access I do to information.
Yeah. It just.
What else, man? What else? Don't get down. What else? Let's deal with it. Don't run for nothing.
It hurts me badly to see the amount of chatter that goes on. It makes it so hard for me to listen when I'm taking notes. I'm trying to listen to Larry. I'm trying to watch what's happening. I can't always answer you because I am taking notes. I think what Larry is telling us is important enough to hang on to for posterity. And all the chatter between people when you start to arguing and everything, it really distracts me badly. And if I miss your questions, it's because I am trying to do too many things at one time. And when I have a monitor in here who's trying to help and you attack her, that is not good. We have people who are in here every day and they're trying to stand up for what Larry's saying. And I'm too distracted to do anything more.
Well, I would suggest to everybody that I would hope you would send Mary Ellen words of encouragement because she does an outstanding job, as does and others who I ask to help us monitor some of the chat, because chatting against subject matters that we're not talking, or for subject matters that we're not talking about, is so distracting to the group that's here to actually hear what we're talking about. Very, very insulting. And I hate it, but it is. That's what trolls do. You may not even think you're a troll, but you are. But let's do this. Let's close for today. But the lessons you should have heard today, I give you not to just be throwing stuff out into the wind. What is the purpose of this program as far as I'm concerned? This program is to give you things that you can share with others that are true, that are real. It's not always going to be good. It's not always going to be fluff. And always going to be hype. It's not going to fire you to the point to where you can, it's just not. But I try to give you things that are relevant to where we are today, to the times. I'm trying to give you things that you can share with others that will help us grow our base, help us create a more educated base. And I know I frustrate a lot of you. A lot of you have favorite things you read or see or hear on the internet, TV, or wherever you go, whatever you do. I know sometimes I'm counter to those stories of people. But I always try to justify my position, as well as I always try to tell you when it's just my opinion. If it's my opinion, then my opinion is my opinion. You're welcome to yours. I hope you allow me to be welcome to mine. And guys, if there's ever been a time, I'll close with this, if there's ever been a time when we need to stop the petty feuding amongst ourselves and stand united with one banner, stand united with one cause, saving this country, it's now. It's now. You may have pet peeves that you think are very important to you. But if it's something I don't know about, there's no reason for me to talk about it. There's not. I'm going to give you an example. I shouldn't, but I'm going to. Randy is one of our great helper. She helps us. She's a helper. Now, Randy has relatives that have connections to the Philippines, family members, that it's important to her and her family what's happening in the Philippines and the China Sea and all the stuff that's going on down there. But I don't talk about it. She asked me, and I just don't get to talk about it because I don't know that much about it. She didn't get bitter at me because that's not an area I know about that much. It's not what I do. It's not a theater I'm involved in. But that didn't stop her from being a loyal friend and certainly a great help to Mary Ellen and me with what she does to try to help monitor and clean up some of the stuff on the chat. And when she does it, when she tries to help, of course, she gets slapped across the face. But never forget, folks, if you want to slap somebody across the face like Randy or Mary Ellen, don't do it to them, do it to me. I'm the one that tells them what we will talk about or what we want. They don't. I do. Blame it on me. And if you're an honorable person, you will blame me, because it is me, the way else. Now with that, I love you all. I will go on tomorrow with Jason. I had hoped to get input today in this program for something that I'll have to do tomorrow with Jason, which is somewhat going over some of the same material we went today, having to do with what this impeachment and Schumer and Schiff and Nadler and Pelosi, all of them, what they're doing to our relationships and how dangerous it is. We're going to talk about that tomorrow on Jason. And I kind of wanted to hear from y'all what you got out of it, what you understood, so that I would know where to go tomorrow with his audience. But I'll be there. I'll be there. And I may, since Mary Ellen and them have figured out a way to simulcast Jason's program onto our just do Jason and then simulcast here, just like today. Then we may do a show of our own, I don't know, but right now, you need to listen to Jason tomorrow. It's going to be important. This is important, what I'm telling you, because this is part of an upcoming strategy that you're going to see President Trump use. It's coming. Trying to give you advance notice, give you advance warning. You're going to see it. Yes, you understood what we talked about today, you'll see it. So I'll see you tomorrow. Everybody, have a good day, please. And stand up. Stand up for your country today, please. Stand up for it. With this, I'm going to say bye, Mary Ellen. You got it. We need help.
Yep, I got it.
As usual. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
All right.
See you.
Bye. As host and moderator here, I reserve the right to not ask a question if it is far removed from what Larry is talking about. Now, XR, you're asking a lot about what happens if we win a war with Iran. We're not going to war with Iran. Iran is a key player. Proxy wars happen in order to dig at Iran. And there was no point in asking the question, what happens when we win a war with Iran? Because we're not going to war with Iran. Trump has promised he is not going to war. He said that in his speech Friday night after Soleimani was killed Friday morning. So please be respectful in the chat. I know on other shows you get a chance to just say whatever you want and share the information you have that is on a different topic, and we all like to feel important. But this is a time when Larry, folks, I was supposed to call Larry and wake him up and make sure that he was ready to start work this afternoon with what he was going to do. And I called and I called and I called and I couldn't get through. He wouldn't pick up. He wasn't okay. We nearly lost him. And then we keep him on the phone here for an hour and a half when he doesn't have enough oxygen. Somebody with his oxygen level is normally not alive. So if you're wondering why I'm upset about the nonsense happening in the chat, that's why. Because I know how important this man is to the freedom that we enjoy. And I know you don't understand what he's been through today. But folks, when he is literally giving his life to be here to help us understand what's happening that we have no access to knowing, but he does. It's important to be paying attention to what he has to say. So enough with the yelling. And I know you have truth to tell. I know that. But when Larry is talking, I mean, when I grew up and I was with my teacher, we were to be quiet and listen. And we weren't to ask questions until we were offered an opportunity to ask a question. All right, enough of that. Larry needs financial help to stay alive. His PayPal account is nicholslive@aol.com. The website nicholslive.com has a direct link to his PayPal. It has his mailing address. My cell phone number is there. That information, my cell phone number is directly under here in the description box. And his PayPal link is in the description box. And if you can do anything to help, please do. We have to ask every day because he needs something every day. And he is barely hanging on, and we need to keep him here. You can get something for helping. You can order a Never Socialism bumper sticker. Larry's book, this is on the merchandise page. Larry's book, 28 Years to Nowhere, is there. This tells of his fight against the Clintons from the day he left them until Trump's election, and what our team did to help Trump win in 2016. And of course, the t-shirt. Let me see if I can, I'm sorry, everything is backwards here, and so the Never Socialism t-shirt is available. We need a couple more people to place an order so that the people who have ordered can get theirs, because we do them in a bulk order. So that's enough for today. I'm going to go and get back to doing what I need to do. I'm sorry for yelling. I'm sorry for getting so upset. When the chat just gets so distracting from what Larry's talking about, it's really hard on me, because Larry doesn't see the chat, so he doesn't know what's going on, and then he's dependent on me to try, and when he's asking for feedback and then nobody's typing feedback, you're just typing conversation, then I can't tell him feedback, and we can't just sit here waiting a long time for that to happen. So, and I know there's a delay, and so it takes a while for the feedback to start coming in. So we're doing the best we can. We're two old people who know nothing about technology, and so we're doing the best we can. Thanks for the kind words, and God bless you. And Larry will be here with Jason tomorrow, and I think that'll be it for him tomorrow. He's needing to be realistic about how much he can't do. Thanks. Bye.